Hey, welcome to The Walk, and happy Thanksgiving. Listen, I'll be the first one to admit, Thanksgiving is not the biggest holiday these days in our society. Matter of fact, most people are just ready to get on to Christmas and kind of just blow right past Thanksgiving. But I think we miss something when we do that. I think there's something incredible that can happen for each of us when we experience a spirit of Thanksgiving, of being just thankful people. Now, how is it that Thanksgiving has become so minimized in our world? I actually think there's a really good explanation for it. After 9/11, people across the country were afraid to go out into public areas. In the days right after, they quit doing things like going to the movies, going out to eat at restaurants, or going out shopping. This was happening in such a widespread manner that it actually began to affect the U.S. economy in a negative way. So the president came out on TV and said that the terrorists who had slammed those planes into the buildings had wanted just such a reaction from us. He said that if we wanted to stop the terrorists from destroying our way of life, then we literally needed to go back out into the world and go shopping. And America did that. They did just what the president suggested. They shopped, and shopped some more. And the country has never been the same. After 9/11, our country's entire economic model flipped. Before 9/11, retail spending accounted for a little less than half of our economic production. Last year, it accounted for nearly 70%. Now, I'm not an economist. I can't tell you really how easy it is or how difficult it is for a country that is that dependent on people like you and me spending money on stuff to stay afloat and keep going forward. But just as a consumer living in America, I can totally vouch for the fact that the system has become very good at coaxing me and you to keep going and to keep buying things. And there's tremendous influence that's getting exerted on us at this time of the year to go out and shop and buy stuff. Now, to be sure, when we get to this time of the year, there's a lot of encouragement on us to go out and buy gifts for others. But let's be realist for a second. What do we spend the most of our money on throughout the year? Ourselves. And while we're being honest, let's also acknowledge that there's another development that has happened since 2001 that's also changed our world, and that's social media. We're living in a world where it's pretty hard not to get focused from time to time on making just the right post in order to get a significant number of likes. These days, our self-esteem is made and lost on how many people like the picture of the food that we just ate. And let's also acknowledge a few more things. This social media driven world has enabled people to articulate their thoughts and their biases in a way that has created more division than ever. There's a chip that's available for any shoulder, for any subject. And that contentiousness, man, it's everywhere. When applied to the pressure to acquire and the pressure to be approved of, it's producing something that's beyond negative, something that is destructive. When that destruction begins to happen, we are finding ourselves living in a world that is consumer-based, social media driven, and has a negative tone hanging over everything. We are living in a world that's too often absent of joy. And that's why it's so crucial that we practice a spirit of thanksgiving, that we don't pass on this moment to have a thankful heart. There is freedom and joy that comes from us constantly reflecting on the blessings of what God has already given to us, and then maintaining a thankfulness for those blessings. The Apostle Paul said it this way: I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through Him who gives me strength. Today, do this. Take some time to reflect on the blessings that you've been given. Count them out specifically, and then be thankful for each of them. We'll start finding a sense of contentment building up inside of us that actually produces a sense of joy. Count your blessings today and be thankful for them.